to you. I'm trying to be happy right now because in a little while I might get stressed because I sort of hate Google Analytics.
Today we're talking about Google Analytics, and we're actually um, unveiling unveiling the veil.
Unveiling.
We are actually getting you behind the scenes, opening up our analytics, our stats, because we just launched our show, as you know, and our website last week,
Last week, we're a
last
little bit
week.
over a week now.
A little bit over a week. So we've been going at this for about 4 weeks.
We've been going since, let's see, almost like maybe almost 5 or even 6 at this point. Yeah.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
So we've been going live for six
We're
weeks.
doing almost 5 a week. And when I was counting the other day, we're up to around 30 episodes. So,
I think a little
yeah,
bit more. I think about
that'd be,
like 40. Yeah,
yeah.
like
So
40
that'd be
episodes. Yeah.
six, it'll be around 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yep, 6 weeks. So what we wanted to share with you is a lot of people when they get started, they kind of like get discouraged from the time that it takes to ramp up, right, and build an audience and get the engagement and all that stuff. And I'll be the first to tell you that I'm one of these people. And this person right there is one of the most grounding people in the world, which is why I'm very happy to be working with you because he is always kind of like, hey, relax. There's like good stats and things are happening and you're not really watching them and we're not paying attention. And
Hey, I gotta. I'm itching too much. We've got to do this one thing before we go into this because it's really quick. Did you see the link that I sent you earlier today? So it's like you don't need it. You don't need it. But people, check this out, you guys. This really would be like what normally we talk about on a Monday Musing. But so Hertz, the rental car
oh yeah,
company,
yeah, yeah. Went out of
they,
business.
they filed. Well, they didn't
Yeah.
go out of business. They
Yeah,
filed for Chapter
bankruptcy.
11.
Yep.
So they're trying to save themselves by going
Right.
through Chapter 11.
Right.
But it was a fascinating. When I read the article about it, is a fascinating look at, again, one of the themes we've talked about is the ripple effect of the pandemic, right? Because when you look at, you go, oh, well, yeah, there's not as many people. You go, but try to understand how the variables come together. So like Hertz, yeah, they're a rental car company, but they're intimately connected uh,
Travel.
to air travel,
Yep.
right? Like the
Yep.
most of their sites are at airports. And so with not so many people flying, they're not renting there. Plus people aren't renting for business in general. So they're getting hammered, right? And they can't
Right.
be the only one. So there's like an interesting thing of looking at that. But here's where weird things happen that you could at least maybe take advantage of is so part of that model in that industry for them is they do fleet sales, right? Like they work out a deal with like Hyundai and they buy a whole bunch of Hyundais for their fleet. They run them to around 30,000 miles and
Mm-hmm.
then they sell them as used cars
Oh.
so that they always have a nice inventory. And the crazy thing is they get to write off the cost of the car when they were using it for their business, and then they get to sell it, and they actually make money doing this, right?
Right.
Well, now they have so many cars they're not using, and they want to sell them. They want to reduce their fleet to reduce their operating cost.
Mm-hmm.
And but here's the thing, like people, the auto industry already, like people are buying cars less,
Right.
right? Because
Right.
that's like for a lot of people it's I want a new car, I don't really need a new car.
Right.
So like they're struggling with that too. So this article I read, they said that Hertz, if you buy one of their fleet cars, they will deliver it to you just for a test drive. Like they want to sell them so bad, they'll bring it to you to test drive it and then sell it to you at a discount afterward. And I was like, so if any of you guys are looking for a used car right
I was
now,
like, I want a Tesla.
you could there should be some neat stuff going on, you know?
Yeah,
And
I'm like, yeah, I'm into
I used to drive rentals a lot when I was traveling for
Fine.
touring, and that was one of my favorite parts of my job was I would fly in and
Drive,
like
right?
one day I'd have like I might have just like a real basic car, but other days I might get something that was cooler. And
Yeah.
because one of their industry standards is if you say I want this category of car, and when you get there they don't have them, they
They'll
have to give you
upgrade you.
something better at no
Yep.
additional charge. Yeah. So
Which is, that actually reminds me when I interviewed, come on, when I interviewed Tom Chi. Remember Tom Chi, the guy
yep.
who He invented Google Glass
Google, yeah.
and the driverless car, right? And I interviewed him about rapid prototyping. So he's in the business of helping people come up with an idea and come up with a product like within a week and test all that stuff. And when we were talking, he goes like, look, there's no need to have all these cars. We like most of the time they're parked either in your house or at your job, right? And so there's no need. And he goes like, I envision a future where you rent a car, it's driverless, right? But it's based on your specific needs, because sometimes you might need a pickup truck because you need to pick something up. Sometimes you're going out on time, right, on the town, and you want to impress your lady, and so now you need a fancy car. Sometimes you just want to go on a road trip, and so you need a van and stuff. And it's like, so it doesn't make any sense to own one piece of car if you can have access.
You almost want like a concierge car service.
Right. And it's like, it's so funny how we're getting to that, you know, with the Teslas and with this epidemic where you don't really need cars.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. My friend is in transportation. They're the people who are paving the roads. And so now we have one lane here on Mopac that's supposed to be like the fast lane, right? It's a paid lane. You go in and you pay. It's supposed to kind of like get faster than traffic. Most of the time, though, traffic is going faster than that lane because there's that one slow car and it's only one lane, right? So if there's one slow car, it will slow everybody else down. And so now they're doing like these experiments of like, okay, what if we only put Teslas in? Or like if we have smart cars that kind of like measure the distance between other. But imagine this, like you
to
get
make
to
it
a
all
point,
flow.
right? But you get to a point where you like, I'm not driving anymore. I'm a passenger in my own car.
Yeah.
Right? And what will that look
wild.
like for the cities and stuff?
All right. Really, I was just procrastinating to stay away from Google Analytics. So I suppose we should go.
Go to Google. So here's the cool thing about Google Analytics, right? I am by no means an expert in analytics, and someone who is an expert who's going to watch me now is probably going to, you know, freak out and like, why is she doing it this way? But I am very, very basic, and I'll just show you what I see when we're going to our analytics and how we're kind of like judging how well our show is being accepted. So the first thing that you need to know is that I'm very big, and Paul is with me, on don't build your home on rented properties, which is why we keep driving you here to this website, because on this website, we can see how well we're doing, right? We can measure, we can follow up with you, we can start building the relationships. And you remember, like, you wake up in the morning and you're like, 2 p.m., where do I need to be? Be thenakedtruth.com. Oh, Paul, I completely forgot. So why did I remember this? Because Stuart shared this, be the honest truth. And I was like, I don't know what honest truth you're talking about. We're naked. But it's Stuart's birthday today. So happy birthday,
I know. I already left him a comment. I already wished him a happy birthday on Facebook. It's one of the great features. I do, you know, we all have times when we complain about Facebook, but there's some stuff they do there that really does enrich the quality of our lives, and they should get credit for that. And one of them is with the way they remind you of people's birthdays. And it helps you feel like you're being a good friend, and it helps that person feel,
but are you really a good friend, or you just like get reminded?
Yeah, you are if you take the time to follow up on it. There's some people I'm like, I don't give a fuck if it's their birthday.
Yeah. But I'm like, did you really remember? Or like, you know.
Yeah, but it's helping. It's helping.
It is helping. Hey, cheers.
So Stuart, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Stuart. I wanted to do like a little pop-up for you and stuff. And you know,
yeah, we have like, that's what we would,
Happy birthday, man.
That was an exploding cake. That's what that was.
There you go. And so that the reason why I remembered is because Stuart remembered our website, kinda. He remembered it as The Honest Truth. And thank you for considering us to be honest. But we're just naked. And exposure. And so anyway, so we're driving traffic to the website because we want you there, because there are a lot of goodies that are happening on our website. For example, let me share it with you and I'll show you. When you come to our website.
So first thing, as you're doing that, let me do a little talk over while you set that up, okay?
Okay.
So the first thing, because we shouldn't assume everyone on our audience really, they may have heard of Google Analytics, but so first thing, just to cover our bases, y'all got to remember, you have to connect your website to Google Analytics. Google doesn't do it automatically. So There are walkthrough videos you can find on YouTube, and there are Google Help walkthroughs you can do, but you have to drop a little bit of code. You have to go in and create a Google Analytics account for yourself first. Then you have to sort of list your site on that analytics account, and it generates some code, and then you put the code on your site, and then it will start gathering analytics. So make sure you take care of that stuff first, because it's not like you just one day go, oh, I want to use Google Analytics, and it's all sitting there waiting for you. When you do log into it, what are your like core things that you always wonder about the most?
Awesome question. So I want to know how much time people are spending on our site, because the more time you spend on our site, the more you read, the more you consume, the more you like us, the more you watch, and the more active you are, right?
Time spent on site.
Time spent on site.
Okay.
So on average, people spend about 2 minutes and 17 seconds on people's sites. So anything above 2 minutes actually means that you are, getting some value from.
You're holding attention better.
Yes. The other thing that I'm looking at is the bounce rate, right? So if you have a high bounce rate, that means that people are coming in and they're coming out. Like they're not even spending time watching anything.
So bouncing is they get to your site somehow, but immediately go, oh, this isn't what I wanted, and they leave?
Exactly.
Okay.
So that means that we need to improve our site, right? Or get it in front of different people that might get the benefit from it. And that's it. And then I look like how many people are new and how many people are coming back, returning. Because if you have more returning people, that means that you start building a relationship with them. They keep coming back, they're watching you, they're participating. That means that you're continuously giving value to people. And lastly, where are they coming from? Like, are they just typing our URL in, or are they coming, where do they find us? So let's do this. So this is our analytics at this very moment when we started. So we're doing better than most people with 3 minutes and 40. So people are spending almost 4 minutes on our site, which is nice.
Yep.
And just remember that this is what, a week old website?
Little over a week, yeah.
A little bit over a week. So we could improve this one. We could improve our bounce rate. This one shows us that we have 2 people right now on our website watching us. And so then I'm looking at like, okay, where are people coming for and what are they spending some time on? So most of people come to our main website, just bethenakedtruth.com, and they're looking there. And then they're going to the past episodes. So we can see that people are watching our replays, which is pretty cool. And which replays are they watching? Well, most of them were watching the script. And then we have our Friday finish. And we got over our hub. And so Paul has a prediction that which one of our sessions is going to be the most watched.
I think it'll be this one. I think this is a one. Google Analytics, again, that's why I was joking, but not joking about how it stresses me out. Now, there's so much data that Google Analytics throws at you. And of course, you want to know how you can improve your site and the use of your site. But there's so much shit there that I very quickly get overwhelmed, and I'm like, I'm just going to keep trying to do good things and hope people like it. So I think there's a lot of small business owners out there who would love to learn how to learn about your site through Google Analytics. How do you parse through all the crap, which I'm sure that it all has value in the span of all the different things that people are trying to do with websites. But for a lot of us, that's just too much stuff. But
it is, and for me too. So this is like super, super basic. But what I meant is, like you said, you think our Tuesdays are going to be the more watched because those are the tools.
Oh, yeah. So Tuesdays in general, I think, because it's the stuff that has the most practical application for people. Like, we want to think that we have fun and interesting conversations all the time, right? And great if we do. But if people are really going to try to drive their own sense of value, it's going to be when they learn about tools that they can use to help their business, right? So Tuesdays, and then I think the more that we get people used to asking questions, then I think right after Tuesdays, it'll be Wednesdays, because then it will be a real sense of our show is on those 2 days the most focused on doing something for them that they really want and are asking for.
Right. And that reminds me that, guys, we have this wheel of names that we're going to spin on Friday. So If you want to be one of the names that getting spinned on Friday and win something super cool, then you got to come in and you got to comment. And where do you comment? You comment on our website, either up here, Ask and Win, put your questions in, comment, or right here below each one of our videos. Just be the first one to comment. Type your comments, rate us if you like the videos. That will allow us to actually find out which of our episodes you like the most. So leave your review. Just give us 5 stars every time.
Hey, can you put Google Analytics back up?
Yes, I can.
Tell me in the audience. I mean, I think I have a good understanding of it, but can you show us the difference between page views and unique page views?
In Hebrew, we say matkil. Matkil, oh, gotcha questions. That's in English. Gotcha questions. I have no idea. So if we're looking at page report, right? There you go. So unique page views and page views.
So 211 to 155. So the difference is a user clicking on more than one page, which ratchets up the page views, but unique page views means we had 155 unique users look at the site so far, right?
I believe so. So this one says unique page views is the number of sessions during which the specified page was viewed at least once. Unique page views is counted for each page URL, and page views is the total number of pages viewed. Yes. So this one, we might have return visitors that are coming to visit us, and then those are, so in a week we got about 155 people to our website so far, which is really nice. And most of them are staying for 3.5 minutes, which is really cool. And then we got a bounce rate of 64, 63, 37. And let's see where people are exiting from. So
do you have a sense, the way that you know about like time spent, what's the ideal bounce rate? Do you want to have it down to a certain percentage?
Well, you want it to be the lowest, right?
Yeah.
So the lowest. So if you get like, 30%, that's fantastic.
That's what I was wondering is there a point where is it unreasonable to want it to be at like 10%, because that just never happens no matter what your website is?
Well, it happened on mine, I'm That Geek.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to like 0. And I was like, holy crap, we got 0 bounce rate. That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, so here's what's cool. So these are the exit pages, right? So these are the pages where people come in, watch, and leave. And we're seeing that we're getting people opting in because of the thank you, right? So they're opting in to be reminded when we go live. Thank you, guys. We'll remind you. And then we can see that they're actually watching, right? They're going to all the other pages. They're clicking on them. They're watching them. And then they're coming out of them. So they're not, most people come to our homepage, look at the homepage and leave. Then some of them come to our lives, like the script. They watch the script and then they leave from there. So that means that they came to the homepage or went directly to live, looked at our session, watched it, and then closed the page from there. So these are the pages that people are actually spending time on, watching, and leaving from, which is pretty cool.
So that brings up an interesting idea for me, which is just because you have data doesn't mean you know what the data actually tells you, right? Because
analyzing the data?
Yeah, because you're like, all right, so they left those pages. Did they leave those pages happy, or did they leave those pages like, this sucks, I'm done, and they left?
Right. So
right, you have no way of knowing.
But if they're spending 3 minutes on our site, that means that they came to these pages, they spent time there, they watched it, and then they left.
So you could crank down on that on a page by page level, right? You could double check, like, if the page that had the highest number of exits, you could then go look at that page and look at specifically how much time are people spending on that page. And if they're not spending a lot of time, it might be a hint that they're leaving because they're unhappy on that page, even though they went to it a lot.
So I don't know if
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I don't know, so now we're on the homepage, right? So 50% of people are leaving from this page. So out of every 2 people, 1 person is going to like what they see, right? And this is really where big numbers come in, right? So if we have 1,000 people, 500 of them like it, that's pretty good audience, right?
Yeah.
And we can see how many people have watched it, how many people left. So maybe this is the ratio, right? So between 38 and 19 people who left. I don't know. It doesn't say how much time spent on site with the
We
page.
need to get some like Google Analytics experts as guests.
we
We
can.
gotta get
Yeah,
this
we
is
can.
like
We can.
this is a lot of stuff, and it's
But
see,
it
it's
can be like you
infuriating.
said, right? It can become very overwhelming. And so when
Yeah.
we're just looking at how we're doing right now, right?
Yeah.
So right now we're doing pretty good for a website that's like a week old, a week and a half old. We can see that we get some direct traffic, which is really nice. We get some social traffic, and we can drill down to like where specifically our traffic is coming from, and then we can.
Do that.
So Facebook and YouTube. Facebook is the one that's sending us most of the people.
Yeah.
And but look at this. If they're coming from YouTube, they're spending almost 12 minutes on watching us, which is amazing because most people say, well, you only get the 30 seconds of a video,
Right.
right? And we're getting 12 minutes, which is fantastic. And if they're coming from Facebook, they're watching us about 418. Now, the question here is, are they watching us longer on Facebook, leaving Facebook, coming to our site just at the end?
Right. They could have already been watching like
Yep.
a whole episode on Facebook and then came and putzed around at the site afterward.
Right.
Yeah.
In general, what we're looking for is kind of like how are we doing and what can we improve. So we see where the traffic is coming from, we see how much time spent on site, and now this is just a snapshot for today. Because last time when we looked, we had about 5 minutes spent on site. Now we have 3.5 minutes spent on site, right?
So if we were to go over the next 30 days, what would be like the 3 key numbers that you would like to see improve and how?
So I want more traffic to the site in general,
Yeah.
right? I want more people to be there. More time spent on site. Now here is the tricky part, right? Because I don't think Google Analytics tracks it very, very well. Because we would have people spending time like Stuart, right, coming in on the site. Adil is coming on. They're coming on our show. Brian is coming on our show, and they're spending 30 minutes. I don't think Google is tracking all that stuff very well. So it'll be very interesting to see. So, and you see discrepancies between YouTube Analytics and website analytics and Google Analytics. So everything is kind of like, what do you call that? In questionable. But in general, right? In general, I want to see more time spent on site, more visits to the site, and actually I want to see the more thank you, right? Like actually people opting in and getting on our email list so that we can engage with them. That would be my ideal scenario. So, but we are getting more people on YouTube to subscribe to our channel to subscribe to our channel. So I'll show that, and I'll just show some of the analytics on that. And this is what you guys can do, right? So when you're going live, even if you don't have a website right away, you can track how you're doing based on comments. We're getting subscriptions, which is really cool. And so our channel is starting to become a little bit more
So wait,
active.
yeah, real quick, can you go into the YouTube analytics and sort of cross compare?
Yep, I can.
Although we're going to have fundamentally way less numbers at the YouTube channel, right? Because
Right.
yeah.
We just started that.
We
So
only-
we
just
actually
started
got
that late
28
and-
views in 28 days. We're getting thing, and we have a few people watching us right now in real time. So thank you. So you see, this one says 3 people watching, and this one says
It did say 2 earlier. I don't know
Yeah.
if it will. Not 0. All right.
thank you.
All righty then.
So we have more people watching us on YouTube, which is why big thing why we want to go live everywhere, because we don't know where people are watching us and how they're interacting and what they're doing. Valentina is here. She says the most intelligent person hypnotist. So both a person and a hypnotist.
That's why I like to be thought of as both. Primarily, I'll stick with the person.
Yeah,
That's
she
good.
says hello.
Thank you.
So we have 28 views in the last 28 days. We see the duration. So this one, Friday Finish, actually got the most. See? The most views, more than Discreet. That's got 525 average view. So
Yeah.
interesting, right? Because we thought this will be more. So that's one way of knowing how we're doing. Looking at our analytics, we can look at our engagement. See that about 5 people watching 5 minutes, and that's really fantastic. Because when you think about this, most people are spending 30 seconds watching videos. Ours, we're getting 5.
Right.
So
So
it's good.
that's a good sign. Yeah.
Our top videos is Discreet, then our Monday Musing, Friday Finish. So maybe you'll be right. It'll be very interesting to see which
Yeah,
one.
we got a long way to go still. We got a lot of, yeah.
But it'll be very interesting to see which one of our topics actually picks up.
You guys who are watching, like, when you think about analytics, what do you care about? I honestly, like, I tend to just think about like unique page views, how many people are coming to the site. And I think I do tend to think a bit like Ifat in terms of like on how much time are they spending on the site. I have very limited scope beyond that. Like, surely there are other good metrics to look at. You guys who know more than we do about this, like, leave some comments and give us some stuff to think about here. And if you are like a legitimate Google Analytics badass and you want to come on the show, get in touch with us, because we would love to. I think there's definitely value here for small business owners, and we all could do better at this, and we could all reap more benefit.
Yeah, but what you said was super important, right? There's the analytics and there's the interpretation.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who said that. One of my guests on my show said, there's the data, which is just the numbers. I believe it was Dan Jinkis. He goes like, there's the data and there's the people, right? And sometimes it's not the same, right? Like the data will say one thing, but the people sentiment will be completely different, which is why we invite you to come in and talk to us and get to know us so we can build those relationships with you, because that's important to us. Valentina is all over you, Paul. She's Paul has got a new groupie.
She's fired up.
Yeah.
She's ready to go.
Yeah, and
She has a message for me. Oh, now maybe she's is she a Nigerian princess?
From Tesla.
Oh, now I know who she is. Yes. I know Valentina. Yeah, we're friends from the hypnotism community. I didn't recognize at first. I haven't seen her in ages.
Well, there you go. So we're reaching out to the past. And it's not just a random fan. It's a known fan.
There you go.
So tomorrow, Wednesday, we are answering your questions. And the question that came in was from Adil Hussein, who was asking about a simple WordPress funnel. We're going to share with you a 3-step funnel that you can put on WordPress tomorrow to help you with your business and sales. And on Thursday, it's one of those amazing shows of I'm That Geek. Not viral connectivity. I'm that geek. You're like, where is it? Da da da. No. Everything is like going on right now. I'm That Geek is this Friday.
You got it. You got it.
Baba. Yeah. So.
Who are you talking to?
Thursday, I'm That Geek. What we're going to talk about is pressing your buttons. How do you press the emotional buttons of your audience through social media? That's on Thursday. Tomorrow, though, we are here talking about how to build a 3-stage funnel on WordPress. This is your questions. Adil Hussein came here, left us a question right here on our website, and he might win.
Thanks a lot, Adil.
Really appreciate that. So that's
Thanks
here,
a lot.
guys. Come onto our website, click Ask and Win, put your questions down below. How do I build a simple funnel on WordPress? We're going to cover that mañana. Same place.
Building funnels, for the record, ranks right up there with me with going through Google Analytics. So
I'm going to simplify it for you. How's that?
I feel like I'm getting a special badge at the end of this week for being a trooper through this stuff that I don't really enjoy, but it's important and I love you all, so we're going to do it.
And you are teaching your clients how to do this. So
I know.
yeah, that's why he doesn't like it. He's like, damn it, I'm done with that stuff. So, quick reminder to all of you what's happening this Friday. You get your chance to win. Valentina, we're going to add your name to the wheel of names and see if you are going to be one of our winners. You should say winners.
You could be a winner. You could be a winner.
I should have a little winner
we'll
jumping across.
we'll have our own song that we'll start putting in. And all right, I think we've had enough for today.
Yeah.
For
So hopefully you didn't.
Punchy.
Hopefully you love analytics now more than Paul do. More than Paul does.
Not hard.
And we'll see.